Hello and welcome to Sports Update on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. I've got a usual suspect on the show this evening. Lasomonile, welcome to Sports Update.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Okay, we'll be doing a lot on the show this evening, and we'll start from the home front this time around. Yes, they are known for protecting and defending the country, but they also take part when it comes to sports, and they have contributed a lot to the development of sports in this country, and we can go on and on names the products coming in from this particular story we'll be looking at. It is the Armed Forces game. About 2,000 athletes and officials are in Kaduna State for the Armed Forces Games. And now, like I said from the beginning, the military, the paramilitary have contributed immensely to the development of sports in this country, and the games will start tomorrow in Kaduna. 2,000 athletes alongside officials, and it's going to culminate to the African Armed Forces Games.
Yes, it's brilliant actually. I think unfortunately for a lot of Nigerians, the relationship that we have with our armed forces is a little bit frosty. So I think this is a kind of thing that exposes them in a certain way to us, and then let's appreciate the talent that they have, appreciate what they've been doing for the country over the years, and then I hope people come out to cheer them. Like you said, athletes that participate here that do very well here will go on to represent the country at the African Games, which is a brilliant thing if you think about it. Our armed forces are one of the best, if not the best, on the continent of Africa when it comes to their primary assignment. So I also expect them to be just as good in the sports arena.
Now, if you're talking just as good in the sports arena,
yeah.
Let's deviate a bit. They are paramilitary customs. They have a basketball team.
Yeah.
Even the armed forces, that's they have their own coas spikers,
yeah.
As in volleyball, basketball. They also have handball team. In all of these, they also have athletes, those who run for them.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, we know this notable name. Let's go to the round leader game.
Yeah.
The police officer Julius Agawa. We have Choma Joa, who is the first gold medalist for us in Atlanta 1996.
Yeah.
So, if you look at all of this, put all this together, they've done well for sports in Nigeria.
Of course, they have, and they've been immense. See, Nigerians in all walks of life are big sports fans, big sports lovers, and we participate in these things. This is what we do every day in our lives, and it won't be exempted. The armed forces will not be exempted from all this. Like all the legends that you just read out. A lot of you might not know that, but these are actually people who were in the armed forces.
Yes, of course,
and came through that rank. So these are very important games. First of all, they are good for the image of the armed forces, to promote a softer side, if I may use that phrase.
Yes, of course.
Then again, it takes their mind off of. It's not just about combat. It's not just about fighting and stuff. But this is a softer image of them, a softer part of them, which is also very important. One, they have produced some outstanding athletes, like you've mentioned, and then secondly, it's also good for their own morale and building professionalism.
Okay, on building professionalism.
Yeah.
The armed forces, they've done well. They've produced talent for this country, and they continue to produce talent. I just mentioned the coas spikers is of the armed forces in this country. They play the volleyball tournament in Nigeria. All right, leaving that story, as you can see on the screen, this time around we'll talk about one man who was there at the Paris Olympic, the African Games. That is Emmanuel Ojeli. Yes, to cap off a season, it's good to end on a very good note. This time around, far away Italy. He won that Camerino made in Italy, and he set a personal best record with a time of 20.56 seconds. For Emmanuel Ojeli, this is a good ending for him, winning the meet in Italy.
Yeah, it's brilliant actually, and I love the bit where it was his personal best. See, all these microseconds, they count at the end of the day. So it's great for him. We may not have done very well in Paris Olympics, but now we're going all over again, preparing for other major tournaments. And don't forget, this man is also a very, very young man who still have lots and lots of years ahead of him. So it's a brilliant one for Nigeria. It's a brilliant one personally for him, and I hope he continues to break personal records like that, and then before you know it, we're looking at bigger records and world records.
Okay, we are looking at bigger records and world records. Definitely, they should translate that at least prepare themselves for the Los Angeles Olympic Games that will be coming up in 2028. And we believe if Manuel Ojeli continues this way, he might just be there to represent Nigeria. Italy's Alessandro Galati finished second with a time of 21.85 seconds. And at least home favorite, the two of them, Italy second and third. The third person, that is Cofano, with a time of 21.97 seconds. Yes, for Emmanuel Ojeli, thumbs up to end the season on a very high note. All right, let's leave athletics and talk the round leader game. Disappointment for one, but another one at least is good for us to have at least a team on the continent of Africa. Enyimba are in pot 3. If we can have that pot on the screen, and then we'll see other teams, the pots, how they stand. But for Enyimba, they find themselves in pot 3 of the CAF Confederations Cup draw. That draw will be coming up. That is next month, and probably we will know who Enyimba will be facing.
I've seen, well, Nigerian football clubs belong on the biggest stages, and we need to represent in Africa. I mean, I believe one of the legends of the games that we have in terms of teams are Enyimba Club of Aba. They are very huge back home. They have a very long history, and now that they are in Puerto Rico. By the way, I was looking through some of those polls, and when I saw, some of their, likely opponents, some of those things might be tricky. I mean, I saw Algiers in another of their another pot, but then I've said it several times, and I'll keep saying it. To be the best, you have to beat the best. So I'm happy for Enyimba. They have come so far, and I totally believe, and I know that many other Nigerians believe that they can go all the way, and if they believe in themselves just as much as we believe in them, nothing is impossible.
But if we look at it, I think Enyimba have this experience of playing on the continent.
Yeah.
They've shown what it means to play on the continent. We just saw Enugu Rangers crashing out after a 3-2 on aggregate. They lost 3-1 away. And for Enyimba, moving forward, do you think they can surpass the morning spinning stage? Probably, maybe this time around the quarterfinal bet.
Why can't they go all the way? I mean, it's challenging, to be fair. I mean, think of it. This is where the big boys are, right? So it's going to be very challenging. Let's not make light of it. But then you have to have a level of preparation, a level of a mentality when you come to these competitions, and I understand that every match is very important. Every game counts. So in fact, every minute of every game counts, if I may. And then when you start getting to maybe facing teams from North Africa, those guys are very, very good.
Yeah.
Look at those North African teams, a little bit in South Africa, and then West Africa, in that order for me. Those teams are very good, they're very professional. And when you find out that a lot of their players, a lot of their professional players actually don't go to Europe the way some of our players do. So they are always at home, playing for their local team. So it's playing on the African continent, playing, CAF Champions League or Confederations Cup are always very tough. But Enyimba has done it before. They've won the CAF Champions League. Back to back. Of course, several years ago. I mean, many of us
2-3 and 2-4.
Yeah, many of us were not even born at the time. But I believe that sometimes you look at those histories and then they motivate you to shoot forward and then do better. So why not? Why can't they go all the way? Why can't they do better than what they've done before?
Okay, we have the port on the screen. In port 1, we have Zamalek, we have RS Berkane of Morocco, Zamalek is of Egypt, we have Simba FC of Tanzania, USM Algiers of Algeria, and then we have in port 2, ASEC Mimosa of Cote d'Ivoire, we have Stade Malien of Mali, we have Al Masry of Egypt, and CX Sfaxien of Tunisia, all in port 2. And then in port 3, Enyimba top that port 3, you see Enyimba FC of Nigeria, we have ASEC Jaraaf, and then we have CS Constantine of Algeria, that is another Algerian club.
Yeah.
We have Bravos do Maquis of Angola, and then we have Lunda Sul, we have Orapa United and Black Bulls, and then we have Stellenbosch of South Africa. So these are big names. And now the possibility, because in port 3, the possibility is that Enyimba might face 2 North African teams. Because if you look at port 1, we have just 3 North African teams: Zamalek, RS Berkane, and then USM Algiers. And then in port 2, you have Stade Malien, Al Masry, CS Sfaxien. So the possibility is that Enyimba might face 2 North African teams.
And they are brilliant. And then don't sleep on Asec Mimosa either.
Yeah, Asec Mimosa of Cote d'Ivoire.
Teams with very long history, right? And they've been doing so well on the continent stage. And again, North African teams, I'm not saying be scared of them, I'm not saying be afraid, but be very, very careful, be very, very wary, be very, very professional when you are facing a team from North Africa. Okay. Algeria, Tunisia, Egypt, man, those guys play good football. And once again, their players don't necessarily leave to go play in Europe. They play for their football club. I mean, look at legendary names like
Abu Treka.
They all
Egypt.
Play. Yeah, they all played right here.
Hussam Hassan of Egypt, they are a legendary goalkeeper.
Yeah, so when you look at that team that dominated Africa between say 2004, 2006 to 2008, a lot of them, I think about 70-80% of them were playing their trade back home. So you have professional players at the very top of their career, very experienced, very professional, and they're very, very slick on the ball. These guys are very good. But of course, to be the best, you have to beat the best. You have to be very professional, you have to be very focused. And let's see how far Enyimba can go.
Let's see how far Enyimba can go. I remember that final against Ismail of Egypt here at the Abuja National Stadium. That was in 2004 where they won their second CAF Champions League trophy. They had to do all the dirty job. They got they started it away and they came back home and finished off everything here at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium. Then it was called the Magnificent Stadium before it was changed to MKO Abiola National Stadium. All right, moving ahead, let's go straight to Europe. The big one and the weekend. Yes, the big man. He says he's here to stay in Europe. I think all Nigerian players in Europe over the weekend did well. And we're going straight to the German Bundesliga. He put his name on the score sheet. He got the winning goal for his team, the defending champions in Germany. That is Bayer Leverkusen. It was a sweet one over the weekend. While we have the result on the screen, Victor Boniface was also fantastic for Bayer Leverkusen in the course of the weekend.
Yeah, he was brilliant. And you could see the buzz from the social media page of Bayer Leverkusen. Unlike Napoli, unfortunately.
Of course, unlike Napoli.
Move on from that. But Victor Boniface has been really brilliant, and I love his attitude. I love his charisma. If you've been following him on social media, if you've been familiar with his game, and even when he's not scoring, here's one thing I love about Victor Boniface.
He creates chances.
He creates chances. He's very creative. He's very good on the ball. He's like, in my opinion, I'm not saying it's on the same level, but it's like it reminds me of like a Suarez kind of striker, Robin van Persie.
If I'm not scoring, let me create chance for other players to score.
Exactly. So I can open up spaces. I can give some nice passes. I can create chances for my other teammates. But over the weekend, he didn't even start that much. Came on from the bench and made all the difference.
All right, let's have the full result quickly. We'll just run over it and then we'll look at the table. We have Bayer Leverkusen 4-3 against Wolfsburg in a 7-goal thriller. Victor Boniface getting the winning goal for Bayer Leverkusen. We have VfB Stuttgart trashing Borussia Dortmund 5-1. Wow. St. Pauli, newcomer against RB Leipzig, getting their first point. Played a goalless draw with Leipzig. And Bochum and Holstein Kiel, another newcomer, played a 2-2 draw with Bochum. FC Hiddenheim, a team that started topping the table from the beginning of the season, they have started falling apart. They lost to Freiburg 3-0. Union Berlin beat Hoffenheim 2-1, and Werder Bremen lost to Bayern. Bayern continued their dominance with those goals after beating in the Champions League, after beating their opponent Dynamo 9-2 in that game, and now they continue from where they left it in the Champions League to beat Werder Bremen 5-0. Eintracht Frankfurt 2 against Borussia Mönchengladbach, and Augsburg lost to Mainz 05 3-2. Let's quickly look at the table. The good news is that we have our Nigerian also on the score sheet over the weekend in Germany. Bayern Munich tops with 12 points. Bayer Leverkusen with 9 points, having lost their first game in 50 matches. They ended that unbeaten run this year. After they lost to that is Atlanta in the Europa League, they broke down unbeaten run, but in the league they lost for the first time. And then we have Freiburg with 9 points on the third position, and Mainz completing the first half of the table with 5 points after 4 games. Let's go to the flip side of it quickly, and then we have Werder Bremen starting the second side of the table, and then Holstein Kiel is at the bottom with 1 point. All right, let's go straight to Italian Serie A. Yes, games over the weekend. AC Milan, both teams sharing the same stadium, but one has to show supremacy. Fiorentina 2 against Lazio, 2-1 against Lazio. Monza and Bologna played 2-1. Roma trashed Udinese 3-0. Aouma Okoye was disappointed after that game, conceding 3 goals. AC Milan won. Inter Milan 2. That is the score. It's a mix-up there. We have Venezia beating Genoa 2-0, and Juventus and Napoli played the goalless draw. Lecce 2, Parma 2, Cagliari 0, Empoli 2, and Hellas Verona 2, Torino 3. The mix-up in that result, AC Milan lost at home because they are the home team. Both of them used the same stadium, and it was 2-1 against them after that game. Samuel Chukwueze was not that too enterprising in that game.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate that happened. But AC Milan has been on a downward trend, so to speak. I mean, since their sporting director Zlatan Ibrahimovic came in, I think there have been some rumors back and forth about whether or not Zlatan will have to go, or maybe the manager will go, and then he will bring in a better hand. But well, it's the game of football, and then this rivalry are what we live for, and hopefully we'll continue to see more of that.
Yes, hopefully we'll continue to see those big rivals in football. That is it for the Italian Serie A. We'll just look at the first side of the table quickly, and then we'll move to other. Okay, let's have a League One result. There were games also in League One. Monaco trashed Le Havre 3-1, Angers 1, Nantes 1, Brest 2, Toulouse 0, Montpellier 3 against Auxerre. We have our own Nigeria also getting goals for Montpellier, and that is Adam Akko in that game. Lyon lost to Marseille 3-2. Luxley and Strasbourg played 3-3. Rennes 1, Lens 1, Reims 1, PSG 1. Surprisingly for PSG, they played 1-1 draw in that game. And Nice were the highest winner over the weekend, trashing Saint-Etienne 8-0. It was as if it was a basketball game they were playing.
I mean, it feels like that. Sometimes we need high scoring matches like that. Of course, it has to be embarrassing for you to concede 8 goals. But then, for us neutral fans, we love matches like that. They are entertaining, they are brilliant. We see lots of goals, and hopefully they go back and sort their business.
Yes, sort their business. All right, games continue tonight. We just have 2 games in the leagues tonight. One in Italy, and the other game in La Liga. Real Betis against Mallorca, and Atlanta against Como. Yes, quickly. Atlanta Como will be seeing 6 Fabregas at the touchline, and we'll have our own Ademola Lookman of Atlanta Bergamo pushing up front.
Tonight might just be a night for Cesc Fabregas to forget. Going away to Atlanta is not for small boys. I mean, Arsenal were there.
And they got it hot.
it was not easy, I have to tell you. So Fabregas with his very, very inexperienced team just coming into Serie A, they will probably be whitewashed tonight.
Okay, probably it might just go the way of Atlanta, but sometimes footballs just show you a different side of it. All right, before we go on the show, because we're out of time, let's look at this transfer story. Former Chelsea Brighton coach Graham Potter keen on Everton job. Probably this man might just they might just show Sean Dyche the exit door, and Graham Potter.
Yeah, but Graham Potter didn't really do very well at Chelsea, but we know what he's done. We know what he's capable of at Brighton. Sean Dyche, helped Everton stay up, but they've not been good this season. And then they've been conceding some very, very bad goals. They went 2-0 up twice
against Aston Villa,
and they lost. So I mean, in this day and age, we know that there's no more patience on the side of managers. So Sean Dyche might just be out of his job in the next few days.
Okay, all right. Let's see how that goes. Real Madrid keep tabs on this fantastic young defender, Leipzig defender Castello Lukeba. And for Manchester United, the last one on the show this evening, Manchester United, Newcastle, Tottenham monitor Southampton midfielder, young man Tyler Diblink. The fantastic man. Over the weekend, it was also good for Southampton against Everton, and Man U, 3 teams looking for the signature of this man.
Yeah, he has been brilliant, and don't forget, over the years, Southampton has produced some very fantastic players from their academy. They are very good with that, good with grooming players. So let's see what this young man becomes. Unfortunately for Southampton fans, when you bring a star like this, other people will snatch him up.
Yes, other people will snatch him up. That is where Luke Shaw came from, and Luke Shaw has been good for Manchester United. All right, that is where we'll be leaving it on the show this evening. Omelile, thanks for coming on Sports Update.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, that is the program. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. Say thanks for watching.